welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. This is a new series called Quest to Consciousness. Hello, I'm your guide, Ashley. Keep your hands and feet in your vehicle. Alright, anyway, I'm just kidding. Okay, hi. If this is the first time you're seeing me, I apologize. I'm fucking weird. I don't apologize for being weird. I apologize for how you are taking me in. Anyway, Quest to Consciousness. Today I think we're gonna just kick it off with talking about, well, let me go ahead and explain the process of consciousness. Consciousness is when you become like more aware of what's going on, like the actual truth, not just the truth that you have held as truth for so long, whether it was from religion or education or family, tradition, things like that, society held beliefs. For instance, yesterday I wanted to watch this show. I'm a big Drew Barrymore fan, and the show is available on Netflix, and I never really wanted to watch it because I was like, meh. But I'm really into the way that the world soft launches shit, right? And this show in particular soft launches cannibalism, and it's very interesting to me. I'm also someone who really enjoys subliminal messaging, and so there were some one-liners in the show that made me think some things about what we have to look forward to on this hellhole of a planet in these current times, and also the law of revelation. So the law of revelation is when you tell people what you are doing, but you usually do so in a joking manner, so they don't think that you are true, right? Like, so when someone like says something and they don't get the response that they want, and they're like, oh, I was just joking, right? That's kind of what the law of revelation is. Most of the times people don't believe things that people say if it's said in a joking manner, things like that. But anyway, Hollywood uses the law of revelation immensely. So I watched a little bit of the, what is it, Santa Clarita Diet, is that what the show is called? And it was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. Watching Drew Barrymore eat dead bodies it made my stomach queasy. So I was like, I'm gonna turn this off and keep my humanity intact. So just, for instance, entertainment is not just something to entertain you with, it is something to gain complacency and control, and also, again, soft launch future plans because of the law of revelation. So these are all examples of when you come into consciousness, this is some of the ways that your brain will work differently than whether or not you are just excited about, the status quo. The status quo is what everyone else is doing, right? Like what the system, so what I mean by that is, wow, if this is your first time here, I'm sorry, this is a lot. I've put up a lot more stuff that would probably be a better starting point. But the quest to consciousness, mine started with the truth about 9/11 back in the early 2000s. And it ended me up in mental institutions, and because my family thought I was crazy when I was coming into consciousness, because I was learning the truth about things, and they were so deeply indoctrinated. They still are. I don't talk to anyone in my family. They're so deeply indoctrinated into the false truths and narratives that this society and system has put in place that they expect people to fall in line and do. And I'm a cycle breaker. I'm the black sheep in my family. I don't do things the way other people do. It does not work for me. I am part of making the world a different place. Part of the change that I want to see in the world. It took me a really long time to get to that point. A lot of handcuffs were involved in me being finally strong enough to, I don't mean sexually, I mean from the state. Anyway, but yeah, so, wow, this is all over the place. Anyway, coming into consciousness, you're going to be able to critically think, and you're going to be able to see things. There's a lot less group thought involved in consciousness. And there's lots of people who believe that they are woke, and are absolutely within the confines of cult thinking and groupthink. Okay, so be careful. Don't do that. Don't be afraid to, I think that's the main thing, within coming into consciousness. This is a series, I'm not just doing this one video. But I think that within coming into consciousness, you heal yourself, you do inventory, you decolonize, you deconstruct from whatever is keeping you confined into boxes. I like to think of society more as, okay, so the Fibonacci sequence is like nature-based, it's like that spiral. And if you think about the Fibonacci sequence, that's kind of how I think about life. You know, everything is like a DNA strand. Like things are connected, but they're also not connected, and they're constantly moving. Not even a DNA strand, because that's very limited. The Fibonacci sequence is like a spiral that expands and expands and expands and expands. It like keeps doubling itself. So if you think about energy, and if you start to think about the word, wow, this is a lot. I'm probably gonna make people go into psychosis. That's not my intention. Stay grounded on the planet. Again, if this is the first time you are seeing me, I have 3,000 videos on my channel. Please go start somewhere else. This isn't a starting point. This is for folks who are have been watching, have been doing their own work. But I think that we can, we need change. We need it quickly. So I think that making a blatant series about actually coming into consciousness. Next time I make a video, I'll talk about some ascension symptoms, because your body will have physical symptoms when you are in this process. They're very much like flu-like symptoms. Ascension symptoms. I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget. But yeah, I think everyone's journey is unique, because some people learned, some people grew up in the same church, but everyone had different family life. Everyone had the same curriculum, but some people were treated badly by their teachers and some people weren't, right? So like everyone's experience into consciousness it's this peeling, it's the Shrek, right? It's this peeling back of the layers of who you are, versus what society, your family, your tradition, remember, all of that wanted you to be. It's like, it's this rekindling of your passion, your fire, this reconnection to your inner child, which is just this term for, I don't know why I'm making this like kind of starter beginning and kind of not. I guess because it's just a new series. But your inner child is like the little one within you that was like so excited about life, and then eventually it wasn't so excited. You had to do homework, you had to do your chores, you had to do this, you had to do that. A lot of people still have like Peter Pan complexes, myself included a little bit. I mean, I've healed my inner child at this point. I used to be very much resistant to having responsibilities. As a single mother, I can't do that. So I had to leave my Peter Pan complex behind. I had to grow up. Blink-182, I guess this is growing up, right? But I did so in a way that I invited my inner child along with me. I don't have to report to anyone. I don't clock in. I have taken control of my life, because as an autistic superhero, I cannot take direction from anyone else. This is gonna sound really egotistical, but a lot of people are really stupid, and I'd have a hard time taking commands from stupid people. I can't do it. So anyway, I'm not calling you stupid, but there are a lot of stupid people. I think we can all agree on that, right? So anyway, the quest to consciousness, it is this process. One thing I will say here, disclaimer, it's once you've made this choice to come into consciousness, to learn the truth about the world, about yourself, about the things, and about the people around you, right? Like, I always hold my mother in such high regard. I have no contact with everyone in my family. It was getting to this point of detriment for myself, and I don't participate in my own oppression, so I had to say goodbye. My family is unable to grow in themselves, and so, it's like an invasive species plant versus, a native plant that is supposed to be there thriving, and then, something comes in and takes it out because it's invasive, right? So, I mean, I don't know. I don't care what analogies you use for your process. I have them up the wazoo, because I see this relationship between the natural world and our own worlds, right? Beyond what society has told us is true. I am not a fan of war. I don't think that we need to be struggling so much. I am very aware of the powers that be. And with my master's degree being in social justice and human rights, I always bring it back to that point. No matter what your individual process is, always blame the system for what you're going through, quite frankly. Not in a narcissistic way, but in a way that is, would you be this person if you didn't have to do this thing? What would you do if you didn't have to work for money? That's a good baseline starting point to start at. What made you happy as a kid, right? So these are called introspection questions. I've made a lot of introspection playlists. I do shorts every day to kind of keep the vibe up, and yeah. So it is a process. Again, it's a lifestyle change. It's not something that you can go back on. It's, you can't become ignorant again. And I think that's the thing, like with my mother in particular, I was always an extension of her. I was never my own person. And so when I started to step into my own power, that's when I got locked up, right? I was embarrassing her. She didn't have a concept of what I was talking about, so automatically I was wrong. And that's embarrassing, and you need to go away because you're, making me look bad. That was my personal process. Perhaps you've been through something similar. But no. I'm not doing that anymore. So, tomorrow is a full moon. It's a full moon in Pisces. I heard that Saturn is also in retrograde right now. I don't really know what that means. Saturn's really big though, as like a mass. Hey babe. Jump. So anyway, this is the process. Oh god, I have this like aneurysm headache thing happening in my brain. It's not a real aneurysm. It was just like an electric moment. Anyway, coming into consciousness is a process. It's a process of reclaiming who you are, telling everyone to fuck off, and going against the grain to create a better world. Basically, that's it. Okay, bye.